Hey guys, welcome to the Afterwatch Party with
Stephanie and
Ryan, where you watch it and we review it.
you better get inside the Afterwatch Party.
Getting back into The Walking Dead season 7 premiere.
So exciting.
Absolutely brutal.
Yes, this was very long anticipated. This past year waiting for this was intense.
Very intense. And do you think it paid off?
At first I didn't think it did, but I feel mostly satisfied. If I gave this episode a general rating, I'd probably give it a B.
A B. Yeah,
just a B.
I feel like I would have to agree with you on just a solid B, no B minus, no B plus, because, see, most of it just took place in the same spot they left off, but I don't think that really, helped or hurt it.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't feel obviously stuff happened in it, but it felt like the episode kept going in circles and replaying everything, which I see the purpose for it, but for a premiere, I feel like a little bit more should have happened.
Well,
maybe.
I feel like because of what happened, they didn't want to do too much. They just wanted to have people be shocked as to what.
Yeah, just the shock value. I totally get that, because it was definitely messed up.
So it starts with how they left off in the season 6 cliffhanger. So everyone's in the circle, and Negan is talking to Rick, and he's like, well, no, so Negan is choosing who to hit with the bat first.
Yeah, he does the whole eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a tiger by his toe thing, I felt like that added to it, it was so nonchalant for him to be, picking somebody to beat to death, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, no big deal.
Well, because he doesn't really care who gets hurt, because those aren't his people. So, the first person ended up being Abraham.
Which, when I thought that was it, I was just like, really? Abraham?
Yeah, so I was thinking, oh, that's kind of good, because he's not as vital to the show, but he's still someone that people care about.
Mm-hmm.
And man, Negan just, he tore up Abraham's face with that bat.
He really did. And Abraham sits up after taking the worst blow that you would have thought would have knocked him out with how hard it was and the sound that it made. And he said, "Suck my nuts."
He did. He said, "Suck my nuts." And then Negan just went for it and just beat his head into nothingness.
Oh, and then just flung his bat around after, and it flicked blood all over Rick's face and everybody else's faces. Ugh. The effects on this episode were on point. The special effects are great.
See, I would say that for after the second person who was...
Yes, it just built up. They got better and better through the episode.
So the second person being, unfortunately, Glenn.
Yes, after Daryl had an outburst about him killing Abraham. Yes, I really thought Daryl was the goner, and I was a little bit upset at first for obvious reasons, because he's Daryl. And he punched Negan, right? He just punched him square in the side of the face, and then, poor Glenn died because of Daryl. That's gonna come back up in so many different ways, as eventually when they all get reunited.
Probably.
It's gonna just keep coming up.
So, when you mentioned the special effects, I was thinking of when Negan had killed Daryl, and then whatever that was left on his bat, like maybe it was his like skin or his hair.
It looked like hair to me. Poor Glenn.
Oh, really? Like you have to just. Oh,
You
it,
can
it was just
all.
so. It was a bit disturbing. Like I'm really not that easily.
Like grossed out by that kind of stuff. I'm not either.
Yeah.
But this episode definitely did it to me. Like there were some times where I was like, do I look? Like how do I keep looking? I don't know. Because it was just really brutal.
I'm normally not that easily grossed out, but that this episode really got to me.
Yeah, because this was pretty much just him saying, I'm gonna break you all down, and you're all gonna be mine after this. And he went totally ham. Like he spared no expense. Except for Carl. He could have killed Carl and I would have been okay.
See, I don't like Carl that much, but I would have felt really bad if Carl were to die. And I totally thought that Rick was going to cut his arm off.
I thought he was too. Like, I hate Carl. But when he, like, put the tourniquet on, I was like, I knew exactly what was gonna happen. And I was like, so sad for him. Even though I really hate him, and I hated him last season. I haven't liked him since, really, maybe after the third or fourth
Since he was
season.
like a lot younger for me.
Yeah, when he was younger, he was fine, but I feel like as he was getting closer and like hit puberty or whatever, like I just didn't like him at all, and I haven't. But I would have felt so guilty and terrible. I think it part of it is because he is a kid, and Rick is his dad, and if Rick actually cut his arm off, ugh. And when he was laying down, like, waiting for his dad to decide if he was gonna cut his arm off or not, he said, just do it. And I was like, oh my god, this can't happen.
So,
Freaking out.
nonchalant Nike references. Maybe they're sponsored by Nike now.
This just adds to, like, Carl's, like, sassy teenagerness, though, I think. That he thinks he's, like, just the way that he said it and the look that he had in his face, he was just like, just do it.
Well, I
don't
think
know.
it was just the fact that he wanted like everyone else to live, and
Yeah, and he just wanted to get it over
that
with.
eventually he would be okay after that, you know.
I feel like I don't know what took Rick so long to decide. I understand, but after Negan explained that if he didn't cut Carl's arm off, he was going to kill everyone, including Carl, I feel like I would just immediately, real quick, cut Carl's arm off and not drag it out, because I wouldn't want him to die if he were my son, you know? But, oh my gosh. The look on Rick's face, though, like when Negan was like, do I have to count? Are you gonna make me count? And then he started counting down. Oh my gosh. Poor Rick. We see him.
Well, thankfully he didn't have to do that. But so the part that really got me was toward the very end when they showed everyone at the long like dinner table, because Rick was just like banging it back in his head, and I'm like, oh, Glenn and Maggie have their kid on Glenn's lap.
I know, it was so sad. And Abraham was just sitting there with Sasha, like.
I was tearing up. I was so close to like actually shedding a tear.
Shivers down my spine, and like oh my gosh, like this is like in a few years when like when life would normalize and more like stuff just got more back to normal and society started getting itself back together. That was what it was gonna be, and they were all so happy, and that was intense.
I just felt all kinds of feelings during it. I don't know.
It was a good episode. It was not the best Walking Dead episode, but it certainly wasn't the worst. It definitely had feels, and it was definitely intense.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was like the best premiere, but
I just can't believe that they decided to kill Glenn after last season.
They put him through the ringer.
They did, because 2 seasons ago, everybody thought Glenn died on the finale. And then last season's premiere, it was like, oh no, Glenn somehow survived that. And then this season's premiere, Glenn actually dies. I mean, there's some kind of irony in that. It's just, poor Glenn. And poor Maggie. Like, poor Maggie. Because she was so sick to begin with. Remember how sick she was in the last episode?
Yeah. Yeah, she was just about to fall over herself. Overall, The Walking Dead Season 7 premiere, for me, gets a B. Gets a B from you as well, Steph, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a solid, plain old B.
Alright, so we will be back next time with the second episode of Season 7. So guys, that's all that we have for this episode of the After Watch Party. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes, thank you all so much.
And remember, the After Watch Party never sleeps.
Don't forget to check out our website at theafterwatchparty.com to see what we put inside your goodie bags this week.
See you at the next After Watch Party.